Hello, hello, hello. It is Cassandra Terry, your manifesting miracle maker. Welcome to Tuesday. Today is Transformation Tuesday. And if you truly want to transform your life and clear the path so that you can start to live the life that you desire, the first transformation has to take place in the mind. And with that in mind, I'm thinking that today we want to shift our focus. We are so critical of ourselves. We can be critical in general, but you've heard the saying, I'm my own worst critic. I know all my thoughts. I know every mistake I've ever made, and those things shape my mind. And if I allow them to be in the forefront of my mind, the effect of that can be the opposite of what I really want. It makes it difficult for me to see my value. And that's the challenge for today. We wear so many hats, we play so many different roles. And whatever role that you may be in right now, whatever roles you may transition to throughout your day, the challenge is to actually think about the value that you bring to that role. It's the opposite of how we're kind of trained to think. Sometimes, you're bragging, you're building yourself up. You need to build yourself up. When you walk into a room and you know what your value is, what you're bringing to that situation, you enter the room differently. You stand a little taller. You're more likely to be authentic and voice your opinion. When you know who you are and what your value is, external forces don't control you nearly as much. Okay. I experienced that on my job more than anywhere. I've had work for the same company for 22 years, and I absolutely love my job and the company that I work for. However, for many of those years, I felt lucky to have that job. I work for a technology company, and my training was not in IT. It was I have a business degree, and so I just didn't feel as smart, as valuable, as needed as my coworkers who came from, programming and different forms of technology. So I was less likely to give my opinion. I was less likely to challenge if I thought things were not going in the right direction. I was more likely to shrink and to be small and to go along with whatever the majority or whatever the situation was. And most of the times that worked out okay. But what I didn't realize was that I was limiting myself. There came a point in my life where I started to work on me, work on my mental, work on how I saw myself as a person, to really start to love that reflection in the mirror, the person that I am, not any title, not any accomplishment, not anything like that, but the essence of who I am. Learning to love your essence will change your life, because when you love something or someone, you place value on it. And how do you move through life? How do you expect to have the relationships that you would like to have if you don't place value on yourself? So it starts with that image in the mirror. It starts with the essence of who you are and allowing yourself to forgive yourself for anything that you recall that you would wish you could forget. Make peace with you and tell yourself that at any point in time you were doing the best that you could with what you had, and you learned something from every situation. That's the thing. Even when things don't unfold the way you wanted, if you learn something from that, it wasn't a wasted experience. You walk away from that experience with something that you didn't have before: knowledge, awareness, wisdom that you could only have gained by making that mistake and making your way through it. So take every experience that has led you to being the you that you are right now and be grateful for those experiences, good, bad, and indifferent, because all of them culminated into you being who you are. And that person is a person of value. And you should be able to articulate what that value is in an instant. And as I did the work on myself through therapy, through mindfulness, through different strategies, I found me. I know what I like and what I don't like. I know who I am as a person. So external circumstances and input can only go so far. I use it to check myself because I'm still human. So I'm going to make mistakes. So it's not that I don't value the opinion of others. I absolutely do. And candid conversations from someone who I trust is very important. It's important to me to have those types of conversations. However, those conversations may help me develop or evolve or change a behavior, but they don't change my relationship with myself. They don't. I love me. And I hope that you can say the same thing about yourself and say it from your soul and really, really mean it. And part of doing that is figuring out what your value is. What do you bring to the table? Sometimes you are the table and you don't even realize it. Sometimes you're the core of a relationship or of a circumstance, and you don't even realize that. So take some time and think about, who am I right now? What role am I playing? How am I showing up? What's my responsibility right now? And what value do I bring to that? What am I pouring into my children? What am I pouring into my community? What am I pouring into my love relationship? What am I pouring into my employer? It's really important to understand your value, because when I walk into a room, I know that the particular part that I play at that company is essential. They can be the best programmers in the world. They can write the most beautiful code. They can turn out awesome products. But if I don't evaluate it and make sure that we're following certain guidelines and meeting certain regulations, that stuff will never see the light of day. So I know that I'm needed. I know that my input is important. And my employer has never told me otherwise. They valued it and continued to promote me. And I sat there and wondered why. I wondered why people asked me questions, why they listened to me, why they included me in different things. So when you find yourself in a situation where you're wondering why good stuff is happening to you, why you're being treated the way you're treated, why people seek your opinion, you're probably missing your value. You probably haven't taken the time that you need to understand who you are. And so that's the challenge for today on Transformation Tuesday. Start with the transformation of your mind. Really dig in and find your value and lead with that. And not from a place of arrogance, but a place of self-confidence, so that you show up the best version of yourself, ready to contribute your best to whatever role that you're playing. So once again, it's Cassandra Terry, Manifesting Miracle Makers, and have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Transformation Tuesday.